Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm gonna make a different kind of a video. I need more memory for my Asus Rog Strix G16 laptop. What I did when I initially ran out of memory was I got one of these Samsung external terabyte SSD drives. Now this thing's already full, so I figured the next best route would be to get an internal SSD drive, which I originally didn't do just because I was kind of nervous about installing it myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and show you that if I can do it, anybody can do it. So one thing I did to prepare for this was not only did I watch multiple how-to videos, but I also purchased this PC disassembling kit. Comes with all the screwdrivers you would need, a pair of tweezers, some of these prying picks, and then you got another little prier right here, and a little brush for cleaning it out. And then this is kind of cool. It's a magnet mat, so you can place your screws in each square so you don't forget where the screws go when you're putting it back together, because some of them are different sizes. So this is the internal SSD that I got. I got it on Prime Day sale for $100. I think it was like close to 50% off, 40% off. I think it was $180 before the deal. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. So this is my first time ever even opening a laptop or PC, let alone doing a modification. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. So obviously first thing you want to do is turn the PC off, shut it down, unplug it from its power source, and then that's where we're at now. Now all of these screws should come out normally. You're going to want to take out the middle one as well. But from what I've seen in videos, this last screw on the right here, this one will not come out until you start prying up, then it should come out with it. So we'll go ahead and do that one last. Okay, so now that we got everything taken out that we can, besides this screw in the bottom right corner, which has a plastic washer keeping you from getting it out until you actually start prying it up, we're going to move on to prying it, which is the second most nervous I am about doing this. The first being actually putting the SSD drive into the laptop, because I'm kind of conflicted. I've watched multiple videos that have said you need to disconnect the power supply before you do it, and others do it without disconnecting the power supply, no problems. So once I actually open it up and take a look at it, I'm gonna make that decision. I'm just worried about disconnecting the power supply and having a cord break loose or something, but we'll lay in that bed when it's made. So let's go ahead and start prying this. Now this kit came with these 3 prying tools, so let's start out with this plastic pick and this little pry bar. Okay, we got that up a little bit. Put that in there. Now from what I saw, you just kind of slide it across. Yeah, that seems to be working. Okay, now I think we can get that screw out. Let me magnetize the screwdriver again. I know I'm probably making this way more complicated than it needs to be, but it's my first time, so I figured there's really no need to rush. Huh. That's odd. Okay, so apparently it's not even necessary to pull that out until you've pried everything apart, so I am just going to continue on with the prying. And it looks like so far this side has given me the most grief. So I got that in there. Now I want to get this one in there also. It came out again. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was easy. Okay, so now I just need to finish doing that on this side all the way. And then I think that is it. It should pop up. Alright, got it popped off. Looks like it didn't sustain any damage from my prying. And yeah, we got it all taken apart. I've had this laptop since October of 2024, and surprisingly the fans are spotless. I don't see any dust buildup. If there is any, it's very, very small amount. Now, okay, so after doing some more research before I actually did this, I wanted to make sure I was going to be okay assembling the secondary SSD without undoing the power source. Now, from what I have learned, it seems as long as this screw doesn't get dropped anywhere on the motherboard and I successfully pull it out and then install it without it dropping, then there shouldn't be any issues. So I am just going to go ahead and risk it, as you would say, and do it that way, just because I feel confident in my ability to do so. So let's go ahead and do that. Now there's this little, I don't know if this is a thermal sticker, thermal tape. Peel back, and then it just plugs right into those prongs there where you can't see from this angle. So I will go ahead and move the camera. Okay, so here's gonna be a better look at it. As you can see, those gold pins is where it connects to, and then you see the notch right there on them. That's where the corresponding notch on here will slide into place. So it would be like that, set down. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm glad I referenced what I've been using to learn how to do this correctly, because when you slide that into place, you are supposed to angle it up. So it's supposed to be angled up like so. Boom, slides into place. See how it's holding itself up? Then you just push it down, and then it should kind of pop into place right there. And that's when you get the screw. That's when you get the screw and carefully, very, very carefully, get it in those threads. Okay, I got it started. All right, success. Okay. All right. Well, that was stressful, but I got it done. I am going to do a light cleaning on these fans. They are not visibly that dusty, but I do see a little bit of residue in there. Let me turn this light on. Okay, well, I got the back snapped back on after I cleaned it out, gave it a dusting, and got all the screws screwed down. So the next step is to turn it on, plug everything in, and format the drive and see if it works. So after I do all that, I'll go ahead and cut in an update saying whether or not I succeeded in my first laptop repair / modification. Alright, I'm happy to report that it did indeed work, and I am already on Steam transferring files into this new drive.